Hello everyone, and welcome to a cottage Christmas guide where I'll be showing you how to romanticize this season to the fullest. I'm going to be sharing recipes, movie recommendations, TV shows, books, activities, crafts, gift guides, and so much more. So grab yourself a hot drink and snuggle under a warm blanket, and let's just get right into it. The first aspect of creating a cozy Christmas is to change your surroundings. I'm of course talking about decor, and this doesn't have to be expensive. You can actually make your own decor at home very inexpensively. I'll show you what I mean. The very first thing I start every Christmas with is dried orange slices. You cannot get any easier than this. Just place them on a rack on top of a cookie sheet and bake at 170 degrees in the oven for around 6 hours, and I always flip them just once midway through. You can use these for ornaments, garland, or even use them as accents on wrapped gifts. For ornaments, I just put an ornament hook through. It's nice and simple. And then for garland, I make a large like sewing type needle out of an ornament hook. I just bend it, and then I tie some twine to the end loop and just sew it straight through the orange slices. Another orange themed homemade decor element I have made this year are clove oranges. You simply puncture an orange with fresh cloves all over and then tie a ribbon around like you would a package. Another way to create a cozy Christmas cottage is to bring in outdoor elements. Greenery, pine cones, and acorns are the perfect touch, and going for a crisp winter's morning walk and coming home with your found treasures is so rewarding, especially if it's followed with a warm cup of cocoa. I'm very proud of this centerpiece that I made almost entirely out of homemade and thrifted items. I picked up this dish from a thrift store for $10. I removed the lid and set in a thrifted Christmas tree, and then I added the pine cones that I found on one of my walks and the orange pomanders that I made. I hung up some dried orange slices, and I finished it all off with some velvet ribbon. This entire display only cost me around $18. Now I'll show you how to wrap the perfect Christmas present and incorporate those orange slices. Copper molds are another inexpensive item that any cozy cottage must have. You can usually find them at the thrift store like the ones that I found and hung onto my wall, and orange garlands pair perfectly with them. The next element of creating a cozy Christmas is to incorporate the smells of Christmas. And my favorite way to do that is to create a simmer pot. You'll need a bag of cranberries, a sliced orange, a few cinnamon sticks, some whole cloves, and I like to use a splash of vanilla extract as well. You can even add in some sprigs of fresh rosemary to make it look extra festive. Bring the pot to a gentle boil. This unleashes the fragrances, and then set in a low simmer for a couple of hours. This will fill your home with the most Christmassy scent imaginable, and you can use this for up to a week. While we're in the kitchen, I want to discuss the ultimate cozy activity that is appropriate for any season, and that is cooking and baking. When we look back through history during Tudor times and Victorian times, we'll see that they had a lot of tremendous feasting, especially during the 12 days of Christmas, which spans from Christmas Day to January 6th. Now, I thought I would incorporate that a little bit by making a special meal each week. This week I'm going to be making a roasted chicken with roasted vegetables. Next week I'll be having a seafood feast. And then the week after that I'll be having my British Christmas feast, which incorporates beef Wellington and duck fat potatoes, and I'll actually be sharing that meal with you as well. This year I put together a binder full of my holiday recipes for both Thanksgiving and Christmas. I used Canva to make them pretty and then printed them off and put them in page protectors. This week I'm making a roasted chicken with roasted zucchini, squash, and onions. This reminds me of something that would have been eaten back in Victorian times. During Christmas, I love making Christmas cookies with my children, but sometimes you need to make cookies in a hurry, whether it's for a school function or a potluck. So I'm going to show you my go-to recipe for quick and easy cookies using a mix. Start with a sugar cookie mix. I usually use organic brand, but they didn't have that at the store this week. So I'm just going to use this. It's perfectly fine. You just add the egg and butter, and my secret weapon for these cookies is to add some almond extract. This is going to make those cookies taste extra magical. I'm scooping out about 8 cookies worth of dough, and then I'm actually going to use this same dough to make Earl Grey cookies as well. All you do is add some orange zest and some Earl Grey tea straight from the bag. For this recipe, I used about half of one bag because there's not very much dough here. I baked all the cookies until the edges were just lightly golden. You don't want to overbake these. For the sugar cookies, you can make some homemade buttercream frosting by mixing softened butter, powdered sugar, milk, and vanilla extract, or you can make it easy and use canned cupcake frosting. I find that if I'm going to use store-bought frosting, this one tastes the best, and you can make beautiful cookies using the piping tips that come with it. I'm making wreaths today. You can add red bows or sprinkles or just leave them natural. For the Earl Grey cookies, I'm making a quick dry frosting because I'm going to be adding these cookies to a gift basket, and I will need to stack them in a tin. I mix up powdered sugar, some light corn syrup, which will cause the frosting to dry, almond extract, and some fresh squeezed lemon juice. This complements the Earl Grey flavors so well. I use that same whisk to just drizzle the frosting over the cookies in a zigzag pattern. I am going to let these dry for a few minutes, and then I'm going to put together a gift basket for a friend, and I will show you how I do that. I love using secondhand elements to my gifts. I found this vintage tin at an antique store, and I'm just going to rinse it out thoroughly and wash it, and it's going to be the container I use for my Earl Grey cookies. This gift basket is going to be tea themed. I have this thrifted basket that I bought, just cleaned it out. I am adding a beautiful toile tea towel. These were also an antique find. I just washed these up. They were actually brand new and still in the package. I'm going to add those cookies that I made, the Earl Grey cookies, also keeping in with the tea theme, and a beautiful antique teapot that I also thrifted, a teacup, and also a beautiful can of Parisian tea. I'm going to tie in the red color of the tea towel by adding a beautiful red velvet ribbon to the basket. And I just love how this basket came together. I would love to receive this as a gift, and I hope my friend likes it too. Nothing quite immerses me in the spirit of Christmas quite like movies, TV shows, music, and of course, books. And I'm going to start with movies, and I'll show you a little trick that I use that's fun to incorporate movies and TV shows into every day leading up to Christmas. I know that this is a hot debate between the two Little Women movies. I love both of them. I feel that the 90s version is more snowy and Christmassy, but I feel like the entire mood of the new version is magical as well as the actors in it. So I just recommend you watch them both, the one from the 90s and the 2019 version, because they are both beautiful, just magical movies in my opinion, and you need to watch both of them during the winter time. In keeping with the Edwardian Victorian theme, this is called The Christmas Oranges, and it is a heartfelt story set in an orphanage. It is sad at times, but I promise you it has a happy ending. This is a movie set in Edwardian times. It is Samantha and American Girl Holiday, another heartfelt story that has a magical ending. It is just so good. I love this movie. On this list, I have two versions of A Christmas Carol, the classic Charles Dickens story. This is a Muppets Christmas Carol. I love this so much. The music in it is spectacular. These little Muppets just tug at my heartstrings, and it is such a good version. If you've never seen it, I highly doubt you haven't seen it, but if you haven't, you have to watch it. This movie is not on most people's Christmas list. It's more of a winter movie. There is a Christmas scene in it when the next door neighbor like magically makes it snow and she dances in the snow. This movie is very sad, but another one that has a great ending. If you're a fan of A Christmas Carol and just the general Victorian time period, then The Man Who Invented Christmas may be for you. So I know some people that didn't like this movie, but I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I am going to watch it again this year. If you have never seen the 1970s version of A Christmas Carol, it's called Scrooge, you have to watch it. It has the best soundtrack of any Christmas movie I've ever watched. I watch this every Christmas Eve. I cannot wait to watch it this year. It is just a beautiful version. A tradition that I started last year is making my own advent calendars. I put the name of a movie on a little gift tag and I put it in these pouches that my sons and I hand painted, along with some chocolate, of course. So every day when we open up a pouch, we get the surprise of what movie are we watching today. You can also do this with shorter movies, shorts, TV shows. Just write different things down. If you know you're not going to have a lot of time to watch something, maybe like the Grinch animated, which is really short, like 25 minutes long. But either way, it is a tradition that my kids have really enjoyed. Moving on to TV shows, these are mainly going to be episodes, starting with The Little House on the Prairie, Christmas at Plum Creek. This is such a heartwarming, just cozy show. You will love it. If you're looking for more of a winter Christmas mystery, then Hercule Poirot's Christmas, based on the Agatha Christie detective, is very good. I know Jane Austen is mainly known for spring summer vibes, but this version of Emma is a two-part miniseries. It's on Prime right now. Has some beautiful Christmas winter scenes that just make me want to watch it every year. If you want some cozy, mountainy Christmas/winter movies, then 1993's Heidi. It's a two-part mini-series, and it has a beautiful Christmas scene in it and just the snow on the mountains. I think it fits in perfectly for Christmas. It's about a sweet little girl that goes to live with her mean grandfather, and gradually she softens his heart. It is such a good story. Now, this is All Creatures Great and Small. It's not a Christmas show, but the Christmas episode is so good. There's more than one actually, but the Christmas specials that they have are so cozy that I just look forward to them every time there's a new season. And how could I mention a British TV show without mentioning the one and only Downton Abbey? Their Christmas specials are so heartwarming. They can be sad at times, but they just give off a vibe that I absolutely love. This is called a Tudor monastery farm at Christmas, where these historians, they go back and pretend that it is Tudor times. They celebrate Christmas the exact way that they would have back in those days, and I just absolutely enjoyed this. A Victorian Farm Christmas are the same historians that did the Tudor Christmas. It's another documentary about what it would have been like to celebrate Christmas in the Victorian times, and I also loved this one. This is the only animated one I have, although I have several animated Christmas movies that I like, but this one is my favorite. It is Beatrix Potter's The Tailor of Gloucester, set in Gloucester, England. It is just so beautiful. The music is just amazing. It's a magical little cartoon. It's about this tailor that's supposed to be making a coat for the mayor's wedding. He ends up getting sick, and these little mice start making the coat for him. It is just so cute. This show is called Escape to Chateau. It's about this family that bought this rundown chateau in France, and they have built it up and made it so beautiful. They have Christmas specials, and the way they celebrate Christmas, they make crafts, they try new foods, they visit beautiful places around France. It is just such an inspiring show. It's on Peacock right now. That's where I watch it. If you haven't seen this show, make sure to check it out. How how could I mention Christmas without mentioning the Queen herself, Victoria? This is an amazing show about the life of Queen Victoria, but there is a Christmas special that shows how they first introduced the Christmas tree into England and how they made up the palace just to look so beautiful and traditional like the Christmas we know today. You have to watch this episode if you are a history lover. The number one most cozy Christmas show you could ever watch is called Take Peace. It's Natasha Tudor Christmas set at Corgi Cottage. That's the name of her home. She is an author and illustrator of children's books, and she lives a life that I would love to have. Slow living. She makes her own ornaments and the food that she makes, and they talk about her books. It is such a cozy documentary. It's available on Prime, and I highly recommend you watch it. Some books that I recommend are a collection of Christmas stories written by Charles Dickens. A lot of people don't know that after A Christmas Carol, he went on to write a Christmas story every year, and they're very good. So I have this antique version. I know that it's available on Audible. They sell them on Amazon. I'll try to link one below if I can find it, but I really enjoy his writing. This book is called The Inspirational Christmas Almanac. I found this at the thrift store, and it is magical. It talks about different Christmas traditions from around the world. It has Christmas Carol lyrics in it, recipes, trivia, history, just fun facts. I absolutely love this book. It was such a good thrift find. I don't know if they sell it on Amazon. If they do, I'll link it down below. If you love Tudor history, then you'll probably be familiar with the historian Alison Weir. She helped write this book, A Tudor Christmas. It talks about the traditions, recipes, things like that throughout the Tudor history. And it's just a really good read. This one's called A Royal Christmas. This one is more around Victorian times and traditions, decorations, origins, and it goes all the way up to the current royal family, the Windsors. I really enjoyed this one. Winter is one of my favorite times to read mystery books. I love the idea of a winter mystery. And this is A Midwinter Murder. It's a collection of short stories by Agatha Christie, and they're all really good. It was just a cozy read. This is The Mystery of Mistletoe Hall. It's a 1920s mystery. It's set in an estate in the English countryside. All of these people are invited to a Christmas party out in the country, but mysteriously their host is nowhere to be found. It's a very good read if you love mysteries. This book is called The Haunting Season, Ghostly Tales for Long Winter Nights. A lot of them are set in Victorian times. I really enjoyed almost all of the stories in this book. Now for Christmas activities, my favorite is to visit historic homes. I'm very lucky to have historic house museums to visit in my area, and I'm only a couple hours away from the Biltmore Estate. Seeing period appropriate decor just fills me with those cozy Victorian Christmas vibes. I also love to visit historic towns and in particular, antique stores. You can find the greatest treasures in antique stores, and they usually have seasonal items in their inventory. Now for Christmas activities, there are a lot of events taking place, and I bet there are a few taking place in your area. Just go to Google and search for Christmas events in my area or Christmas events near me, and you'll find a bunch. One of my favorite things to do is to attend Christmas choir concerts or orchestra concerts. You can usually find these just by a quick Google search. For example, I'm going to see the Vienna Boys Choir this year and I cannot wait. You can bake, go on crisp winter morning walks. You can curl up under a warm blanket and read a good book. But my absolute favorite Christmas activity to do is to make crafts. An easy craft for your tree is to thrift some frames and put in any picture you like, and just add some ribbon to the back and tie it onto your tree like an ornament. For this one, I just didn't have any place to hang up a picture, so I just wrapped some green velvet ribbon underneath the stand and tied it, and it seemed to hold it in place just perfectly. Another easy craft I like to make is garlands. My favorite one I've made is a Tudor rose garland. I made it last year. You can make any type of flower you want out of felt and just simply glue it onto any ribbon you want. I love the way it looks in the tree, and I'll be giving a full tour of the tree in my next video. Last year, I took a little dollhouse that I purchased for $2 at a thrift store and transformed it into an English Tudor thatch cottage. It's my favorite craft to date, and if you'd like to see me make it in detail, I'm adding a link to it in my description. Another thing you can do is glam up any pillow that you have by adding your own tassels. I made these from a dollar yarn that I got from Michael's. It was very easy to do, and it absolutely transformed the pillow. If you don't like the idea of plain bauble ornaments, you can paint them like I did. Again, with the Tudor rose theme, I just let it dry in between layers using cupcake tins and egg trays, and I think that they turned out beautifully. This year I also made my own stockings, or rather slip covers for my old stockings. I love taking something that exists in my mind and bringing it to life. And it's easier than you think. You may think that you can't make something, but give it a try. It's the cottagecore way of life. You don't know until you try it. Go at your own pace, work slow. I don't have a sewing machine. I sewed these by hand and it was so much fun. The easiest craft I made this year are Advent wreaths. I saw these on the Take Peace documentary about Tasha Tudor that I showed you earlier in this video, and I was just so inspired. I just tied 4 strips of red velvet ribbon to meet in the middle and make like a chandelier. I put 4 battery operated candles in between each ribbon and hung them from the ceiling, and it is by far one of my favorite crafts this year. It makes the room so much more cozy and inviting, and this is something easy that you can do yourself. Just buy a small wreath from, I think Hobby Lobby has them for on sale right now for like $7. So you could easily make this yourself. I hope you've enjoyed this little guide that I put together, and I hope it's inspired you to romanticize this season to the fullest and incorporate some of these ideas into your own Christmas. Thank you so much for watching. It really means the world to me that people appreciate the videos that I put out. If you liked this one, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more. I've got to go wrap some gifts and make another garland, so I'm going to leave you with a quote from Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.
There's the window where I saw the wandering spirits. It's all right. It's all true. It all happened! Ha ha! Ha ha ha! Really, for a man who'd been out of practice for so many years, it was a splendid laugh, a most illustrious laugh, the father of a long, long line of brilliant laughs. I don't know what day of the month it is, said Scrooge. I don't know how long I've been among the spirits. I don't know anything. I'm quite a baby. Never mind. I don't care. I'd rather be a baby. Hello! Whoop! Hello here! He was checked in his transports by the churches ringing out the lustiest peals he had ever heard. Clash, clang, hammer, ding, dong, bell, bell, dong, ding, hammer, clang, clash. Oh, glorious, glorious.